shadow has fallen over Mercedes' triumphant return to the top of Formula One. Their dominant performance at the season-opening Australian Grand Prix was a masterclass in engineering, but it has also sparked a major controversy that threatens to define the 2026 championship. The source of the dispute is a clever trick within their new power unit, a loophole in the regulations that has given them a significant speed advantage. This has led to accusations of unfair play, frustrated customer teams, and forced the sport's governing body, the FIA, to step in. The battle for the 2026 title is not just being fought on the racetrack, it is being fought in the fine print of the rulebook. The entire argument revolves around a technical detail known as the compression ratio. For the new era of regulations, the FIA set a limit of 16:1 for all engines, a move designed to level the playing field. However, the rule makers overlooked a key detail. They only specified that this check would be performed when the engine was cool. The engineers at Mercedes identified this as an opportunity. They built a power unit that, when it heats up during running, naturally expands its components, pushing the compression ratio up to the previous limit of 18:1. This increase provides a substantial boost in power, which was most evident during qualifying in Melbourne, where Mercedes locked out the front row with a gap of nearly a second to their closest competitor. The immediate reaction from the paddock was one of shock and concern. Lewis Hamilton, who left Mercedes for Ferrari at the end of 2024, was quick to voice his worries. He knows the team's ability to find such advantages better than anyone. After seeing their qualifying pace, he openly questioned the source of their speed. He warned that if Mercedes is allowed to keep this advantage for even a few races, it could be enough to decide the championship, and he urged his new team at Ferrari to investigate a similar solution. This sentiment is shared by the teams who purchased their engines from Mercedes. McLaren, Williams, and Alpine were left scratching their heads in Australia. They are supplied with what should be identical power units, yet they were significantly off the pace of the main Mercedes team. The team principals of these customer outfits have been vocal about their frustration. James Vowles at Williams admitted his team was caught off guard by the performance gap, which he estimated to be around 0.3 of a second per lap. Andrea Stella of McLaren echoed this, explaining that the issue is not the hardware itself, but the knowledge of how to operate it. Mercedes has perfected the complex energy management systems required to get the most out of the new power units. And this crucial information is not being shared with their customers, leaving them at a significant competitive disadvantage. Faced with a growing chorus of complaints, the FIA has been forced to take action. They have announced that a new testing procedure will be implemented from the Monaco Grand Prix in June. This new test will measure the compression ratio while the engine is at its operating temperature, effectively closing the loophole Mercedes has exploited. This decision has turned the early part of the season into a high-stakes sprint. Mercedes has a limited window of opportunity to build a commanding lead in the championship before their advantage is nullified. For their rivals, the goal is to stay as close as possible and hope that the rule change will bring them back into contention. True to form, Mercedes is not sitting back and waiting for their advantage to disappear. They are already engaged in a new strategic battle, this time involving the rules around engine development. A regulation known as the Additional Development and Upgrade Opportunities (ADUO) allows manufacturers who are significantly behind on performance to introduce upgrades. Mercedes is now reportedly trying to manipulate this system to prevent their main competitors, Ferrari and Red Bull, from being eligible for these upgrades. This is a clear example of the political gamesmanship that is so integral to modern Formula One, where teams fight for every possible advantage, both on and off the track. The controversy has highlighted the constant tension in Formula One between innovation and regulation. The sport has a rich history of teams using clever engineering to find loopholes in the rules. The challenge for the FIA is to write rules that are tight enough to ensure fair competition, but not so restrictive that they stifle this kind of creative thinking. It is a difficult balance to strike, and this latest episode shows how easily it can be upset. The human element of this story adds another layer of fascination. The friendly rivalry between former teammates George Russell and Lewis Hamilton has been given a new edge. Russell, now the lead driver at Mercedes, joked about the complaints he expects to hear from Hamilton on their shared flight to the next race. "I'll just say shut up and focus on your own stuff," he quipped. While said in jest, it reveals the underlying tension that now exists between the two drivers and their respective teams. The fight for the championship is not just about cars and engines. It is about people, personalities, and the psychological battle for supremacy. As the season progresses, this story will continue to evolve. The introduction of the hot engine test in June will be a pivotal moment. It could either bring the field closer together, leading to a thrilling multi-team battle for the championship, or Mercedes could prove that their advantage is about more than just one clever trick. The outcome will have a profound impact on the destiny of the 2026 season. It is a complex tale of technical ingenuity, political maneuvering, and the unyielding desire to win that makes Formula One the captivating spectacle that it is. The frustration of the customer teams is a key part of this narrative. For years, teams like Williams and McLaren have been told that a customer engine is no barrier to success. The current situation proves that this is not entirely true. While the physical hardware may be the same, the intellectual property and the operational knowledge behind it are not. This creates a two-tier system where the factory team will always have an inherent advantage. This has led to renewed calls for a more transparent relationship between engine suppliers and their customers. Whether this will lead to any meaningful change remains to be seen. In a sport where secrecy is paramount, it is hard to imagine teams willingly giving up their hard-won advantages. The FIA's role in this saga is also under scrutiny. Should they have anticipated this loophole? Could they have acted sooner? These are difficult questions with no easy answers. The reality is that the regulations are incredibly complex, and it is impossible to foresee every possible interpretation. The FIA is now in a reactive position, trying to close the stable door after the horse has bolted. Their decision to introduce the hot test is a pragmatic solution, but it has also been criticised for being too slow. The fact that Mercedes will be able to benefit from their advantage for 7 races is a source of great frustration for their rivals. Mercedes will be looking to build an insurmountable lead, while their rivals will be fighting to stay in touch. The pressure will be immense, and the stakes could not be higher. The introduction of the hot engine test in Monaco will be a moment of truth. It will reveal the true extent of Mercedes' advantage and will set the tone for the rest of the season. Will it be the moment that the championship fight is blown wide open? Or will Mercedes prove that they have other tricks up their sleeve? The world of Formula One is holding its breath in anticipation.